Shalom Akim. Out here again doing camp. Old Kent Road, Marketplace, Tesco's. And obviously, as always, we're going to start off with the camp soon. Shimi Ashara Tazar. You brothers are still enduring and keeping the first works, man. But yeah, let me get on with it. As always, to begin with, Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahshai, Ba'Shem Rahaqadash, and double honors to the great Muslim apostles. All praises to the Most High Yahweh, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, make gods. But of course, his ancient Hebrew name is Yahweh, of course, meaning he is or he exists. And of course, Yahweh Shai being the ancient Hebrew name of the Messiah, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. But of course, Jesus Christ is his real name. And his real name is Yahweh Shai in the ancient Hebrew, which means he delivers. And of course, today's topic is pertaining to the fact that we should pray for more strength as well. But the only reason why we actually are aware and are able to understand this truth as well within the scriptures is because of the will of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshai. Obviously, ultimately, the will of Yahweh. So the thing is, obviously, we go through our moments of being slothful or lazy. And what even gave me the idea as well, because obviously brothers know that I've been slacking on my works right now. Just being real, I've been slacking. The only thing that I've been consistent on is just doing camp videos. But of course, I know one of the brothers told me to pretty much start doing more sit-down videos. Going into certain topics. Of course, bringing out what's up, updates in the news. And Yahweh Shimi Ashara Tazar next time as well, or eventually this week. Hopefully, Yahweh Shimi Ashara Tazar. I should bring out an article as well, because the thing is, I think some guy related to the electricity or energy grid type of chief, the guy who's up there in terms of the energy, he's saying that January and February should be a time where people should prepare for blackouts basically. And they mentioned the fact that between 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. they're going to start turning off the electricity. But they're saying it's just a possibility, that it's a risk to come. So of course when that time comes, the thing is people are going to be shocked by that, even though it's literally just going to be about 2 or 3 hours. And at the same time we say that, but we don't really know whether it's actually going to be 2 or 3 hours. The thing is, it could actually change from 2 to 3 hours to like 5 or 6 hours, and they just keep extending it. The crisis, they're going to use that as an excuse to basically say that they should limit the amount of electricity each individual and each business should be using. So anyways, that's just that's for another video then. But let me focus on the topic today. Brothers go through their moments, man. It's like you got so much going on. The thing is, you almost forget to actually prioritize your Ba'Shem Yahshai, which obviously is a slipper, and that's not good as well. As we know, the thing is, in this truth, we're supposed to do the first works, and of course, please your Ba'Shem Yahshai first and foremost over everything. Because we know, in the time to come, riches will actually riches and all these other vain stuff like our jobs. And all these other attachments, I guess, to the world, they won't matter in the time to come, in the time of Jacob's trouble. Let me actually get my first precepts and up there. Yeah, this is the one pertaining to work. It says Ecclesiasticus chapter 7, verse 15, hate not laborers' work, neither husbandry, which the Most High hath ordained. And of course, laborers' work, meaning, putting effort into works. Right? And of course, as well ordained by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshai, which is why he allowed us to attain this truth, our responsibility is basically to teach out here in the highways and byways, in the marketplaces as well. That's why we come with such confidence. And obviously, it's not by our will or our effort that we think that we have that confidence, but it's by the blessing of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshai. It's by grace that we're going to get saved. So I'll read it again. It says, Ecclesiasticus chapter 7, verse 15. It says, hate not laborers' work, neither husbandry, which the Most High hath ordained. And of course, for you brothers who may not know what husbandry is, that's referring to growing crops and plants. You know, back in the ancient world, that's what pretty much each family had to do. You know, they had to grow their crops as their food. If they did own land, of course. So then owning that land, they had to cultivate it. So that's what husbandry is really referring to. For you brothers who don't know, of course. Yeah, the reason why I brought that precept is because of the fact that right now, you know, brothers be going through, they may go through that lazy stage, you know, slothful servant stage, phase of the truth, you know. It's like they're wearing out a little bit. That's why I got to pray for strength, man. That's why I named it. Of course, you are by His will, which means obviously we're here to teach by the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And of course, if it wasn't according to the will of the Most High, we wouldn't actually be here teaching. That's the point. So, when it says hate not laborious work, is because it's really referring to the fact that you shouldn't really hate having to implement hard work into your life. And the thing is, that's referring to the truth first and foremost. And of course, we can get another precept as well, talking about whatever your hands find to do, you should do it with all your might. And all these precepts are referring to hard work, man. People shouldn't hate labor. You shouldn't hate hard work. Of course, there's a difference between, you know, working vainly, and there's a difference between working vainly and also working for something that actually has value. So of course, we know teaching our brothers, teaching people in this truth, and obviously whoever may come by, speckled birds, which I'm referring to, means that's our sole responsibility. So that's the main point in that precept. Let me get another one. Because obviously we may have our phases of being lazy, but even though we are lazy, we should pray to the Most High Yahweh, for Hashem Yahushua for strength in order to keep going, to keep enduring, man. But in this world, obviously there's a lot of weakness. And the thing is, we don't want to have weakness in our lives, because we want to keep growing, we want to keep getting stronger. But what then would you have if you're then in a constant state of weakness, which this world obviously forces you into? You know, you got social media that pushes you into a state of weakness as well. Multiple things that you see, and the thing is, obviously, with what you see as well, it actually affects the state of your soul as well. It affects the state of your mind. So that's why we got to be careful of what we actually intake into our bodies, into our minds as well. From what you read, from what you see in movies, in the news, all of that affects you mentally. So let me get another precept. I'll get this precept before I get the formal one. The other one I was going to get. Pertaining to whatever your hand findeth to do, you should do it with all your might. So this is Proverbs chapter 12, verse 23. Actually verse 24. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 24. The hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute. And of course, by the word diligent, it means having that persevering attention to work. So of course, when you're diligent in a task, what it really means is really having that persevering attention, that consistent work. So I'll search the definition up right now, and then I'll say it out. But yeah, I think that's what it should mean. And the thing is, diligence is not really a trait of which each person has. Pertaining to, you know, brothers in the truth, obviously that's what we require, but if you talk about it in a worldly sense, not everyone actually has that. You know? It's actually a hard thing to attain or actually train up your body to get. You know, constantly doing something with the maximum amount of effort you can put in. That's basically what diligence should be. So look, let me pull it up. Right, so diligence says careful and persistent work. It says careful and persistent work or effort. So of course that's pretty much what I've been trying to describe before I search the definition. It says carefulness, this is from Wikipedia, carefulness and persistent effort or work. And that's basically the definition of diligence. And as I said before, diligence is not what every person actually attains to or can actually show for. You know, as the definition goes, it says careful. You know, when you go into the details, making sure that you don't miss anything. And of course, persistent work, it's ongoing. You know, as we are in this truth, man. We just keep preaching, man, until Yahushua pretty much tells us we can rest now. And that's ultimately going to be after the salvation of the elect. Yahushua and we're going to be part of it as well. You know? You gotta keep going no matter what. If people don't, you know, if jet passes by you, and, you know, they don't wanna communicate, you still gotta keep preaching, man. You gotta keep providing that opportunity, but that's what it is. When we're out here in the highways and byways, we're providing Jake an opportunity to get this truth, man. And of course, whoever has an ear to hear, they go and hear. If they have the understanding or the capability to actually understand this truth, then of course Yahushua will then send them to you for you to then explain these certain topics within the scriptures, man. Like the mark of the beast, of course them being an Israelite, and all the fundamentals that they should know as well. So I think, let me read the scripture again. This is Proverbs chapter 24, chapter 12 verse 24. The hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute. The thing is, to be honest, I forgot what tribe actually means. So Salakia, let me search that up as well. And that's related to slothfulness, isn't it? Which is basically being lazy. About tribute. This from the definition was talking about the appreciation of something's worth or an indication of something's value. That's basically what a tribute is. So of course those who are slothful, their value is still going to be revealed eventually. And of course that value is really a low value person. It's like, what worth does he have if he then cannot put his hand to the plow? Which means if he can't work hard, how then is he of value? Especially to Yahushua, man. He wants more harvesters, more workers in this truth. Not just consumers, man. Which is why obviously if you have the opportunity to preach out there in the highways and byways, you really should. You know? You just gotta get that first session in, get the second, third, and you just keep going, man. Get on the roll. And obviously it's by Yahushua's blessing onto you that you're able to do that. Alright, so let me get Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 7, 9 verse 10. Let's go check if it's still recording. One that I'll be speaking about. But the scriptures say in Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 10, it says, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might, for there is no work, no device, no knowledge, no wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. So of course whilst you're still alive, man, so see this as an opportunity to put your maximum effort in. Of course, as I said, you know, brothers go through their slothful phases. You know, again, that's when we have to pray to Yahweh Shimi Ashai for the strength to keep pushing us and to keep going. Literally, you've got to keep, it's a long walk. Just keep walking forward straight on this lane and just keep going forward, and eventually you're going to see a big sign, courage, please. Yeah. But it's a long walk. Yeah, just keep walking on this lane, this pavement.
Have you ever read a book called Christ Returns?
Christ Returns? No.
It's a good book.
Okay. Have a good day, man. So, that's Ecclesiastes. You know, so, sometimes, you know, these heathens are trying to add their 2 cents, but it's like, again, we ain't here to preach Christianity. Of course, I ain't here to waste time either, so it's like, you know, let him get along with his day. Let me get, this is Ecclesiastes 9, verse 10. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. Again, going into the effort, man. You gotta have that hard work mentality. Put in the effort, that diligence again, you know, careful and persistent effort, persistent work into this truth as well. Because, you know, these are the first works. Everything else in the world, if you want to call it that, are the second works, like your job. You know, fundamentally, you know, brothers who have families, brothers who got to look after their family as well. And, you know, basically you got to look after yourself as well, man. It's like, if you're lazy, it means how then are you going to, you know, provide for yourself? Like, it's not as if your house is going to, you know, bring food out of the blue, man. It's like, you got to be diligent in this work, man. Not saying that you can't do that, but of course it's not really needed right now, because, you know, the chip hasn't actually officially been declared yet. When the mark of the beast has officially been declared, that's when it's like we're gonna start expecting, and the Yahweh Shimi Ashai as well, we're gonna be praying as well for these miracles to start coming out into fruition. So just breaking it down again. It says, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. Again, hard work and effort, persistent diligence. For there is no work, no device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. So of course it's talking about after death, you can't be working hard, man. But the thing is, when you go back to the spiritual world, you ain't got no troubles that you're attached to, man. No responsibilities. You know, you're just a spirit, pretty much in the position where Yahweh Shimi Ashai has ordained you to be in the spirit world. You know? In fact, let me get Ecclesiastes 12. Actually, wait, 12 verse 7. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 7. It says, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit return unto Yahweh who gave it. So again, that's talking about your spirit, man. As it links to the actual verse, that's referring to the diligence. You know, I think Ecclesiastes 7, actually 9 verse 10. I'll read it again. It says, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. So again, the reason why I brought that precept in Ecclesiastes 12 is because of the fact that after death, you can't work hard. Because your spirit is wherever Yahweh has ordained your spirit to be in. And of course, not everyone's going to get that. But the point is, after death, you can't work. You can't do anything. It's simply a spirit that's just there. So, let me get another precept. course, going back to the topic, man, you know, you are by His will. So the only reason, which means the only reason why you're here, is simply by the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua. So of course, as you have this opportunity, we shouldn't waste it, man. The real point of the topic today is really to put in that hard work. And of course, that's more advice pertaining to me. You know, as you brothers know, I've been quite slothful during this past few weeks, man. I've only been producing camp videos. And of course, we know that obviously it's not just camp videos as well. You've got to be being active in terms of producing other videos as well, you know. Getting into topics, reporting as well, as we know as watchmen. And that's really our responsibility as well. So, as I said, that topic is really from, you know, from the thoughts I've been meditating about, you know, about my slothfulness. And of course, as I said, the solution to that is to pray for strength from Yahweh Hashem Yahshua. So, let me get the precept. As it says here in Proverbs 20, verse 24, it says, man's goings are of the Lord Yahweh. How can a man then understand his own way? So again, that goes into also even the thoughts of man. It's all programmed by Yahweh. That's the thing. So, as we know, the thing is that pretty much defeats free will. Because if it says man's goings are of the Lord, of course that means you can't really think for ourselves. Brother, you know you're an Israelite. One of the chosen people of the Most High. Yeah, you know, Jake hear things, just keep going. I was just standing there, I don't know what he's thinking. But let me get back. This Proverbs 20 verse 24 says man's goings are of the Lord, which means, you know, whatever direction, whatever your so-called fate is or destiny is, it's all programmed by Yahweh, man. You may think that you control it, you know, when you see these motivational videos, you know, control your fate or something like that. Bro, are you Latino?
Sorry, understand.
Huh?
Understand. Ateo.
I thought they were from the Latin tribe. I think they are. I just couldn't detect it quickly. Well, yeah, it says here in Proverbs chapter 25. Actually, not 25. Yeah, not 25. Yeah, going back to man's goings are of the Lord, man. Means we can't really control what way we go in this life. It means if we're then ordained to actually preach this truth, it means you're going to preach the truth. If you're ordained to be a sellout or billionaire or millionaire, that means you're ordained to basically become that. It's all by the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua. If you're ordained to be a 2/3 ultimately, or a 1/3, or 144,000, you're part of that elect. Then that's the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua. But again, you could also mention the fact that, you know, he can bring you into the truth and he can also kick you out as well. You know, we can also link that to the scripture in Psalms 2 where it says, kiss the son lest he be angry, and he kicks you out of the truth. In fact, let me get that right now. And obviously that's specifically referring to Yahweh Shai, man. You can't forget the attention put upon Yahweh Shai. You know, it's through Yahweh Shai, that's how the Father really allows you to be in this truth. And it's by Yahweh Shai's mercy ultimately upon us. So it says here in Psalm 2 verse 12, it says, kiss the son lest he be angry, and ye perish from the way. When his wrath is kindled but a little, blessed are all they that put their trust in him. And of course, when it says kiss the son, it don't mean in a literal sense. It means in a metaphorical sense. Meaning you gotta put that attention upon him, man. You know, when you're praying, you mention Yahweh Shai, send your prayers upon Yahweh Shai, Babu Kushar. You know, when you want to make a request, that's what it means when it says kiss the son. Obviously, when it's saying Kah Halom Milah, now when you're giving all praises, you don't just give all praises to the Most High. When it says Bah Hashem Yahweh Shai, of course the Rock Yahweh Shai, that's how we get to Yahweh as well. And of course the Rock meaning through Yahweh Shai, which means Yahweh Shai is the pathway before we then get to Yahweh. So that's pretty much the point proven there. Let me get another one. saying to the righteous man, of course, to enter the service of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, and Yahweh Shem Yahshai would be as that righteous man, as the scriptures pertain, describe. So, this is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4, verse 10. It says, he pleased Yahweh and was beloved of him, so that the living among sinners he was translated. So of course, what that really means is, as we're trying to please Yahweh Shem Yahshai, brother, you're an Israelite. You're the chosen people of the Most High. You know that? You're an Israelite. You didn't know that, innit? Yeah, Jay, man. Try. The young ones, it's like, it just goes over their head, innit? And I'm a young vessel myself, man. That's how you know, obviously I'm not trying to, pride myself, but, when you're given this opportunity to understand, you should be quite grateful. Because I could have been easily like that guy. You just passed by, I might have went through, I might have seen like a UK GMS camp, they might have been preaching. And imagine me just walking by and then basically, not really hearing what they're saying. That's a scary thought, man. Like, we've got to be grateful that Yahweh Shem Yahshai has brought us upon this truth, has given us the understanding to comprehend this truth as well. Yeah, come on, man. So obviously it's key, it's important that we've got to be grateful, man. Alright. So it says here, he pleased Yahweh Shem Yahshai and was beloved of him, so that living among sinners he was translated. And of course, we're living amongst heathens, man. It could be in your local areas, like your neighborhoods, and you got to deal with them celebrating all these idolatry and heathen practices. And of course, within the midst of all of that, we're trying to serve Yahweh Shem Yahshai to the best of our ability. That's really what it comes down to. And of course, by us doing that consistently, again, going back to the topic of diligence, hard work, not being slothful, Yahweh Shem Yahshai will be as a person who's amongst sinners. He doesn't partake in it, but he's amongst those heathen sinners, but he is then translated. So Yahweh Shem Yahshai will be as those people. So, that's verse 9. Actually, verse 10, it says, he pleased Yahweh, he pleased the Most High, and was beloved of him, so that the living among sinners, he was translated. And of course, if you then please Yahweh, you also please Yahweh as well. Which is why occasionally, I'll say Yahweh Shem Yahshai, or the Most High. That's the thing. So verse 11 says, speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding and deceit beguile his soul. So again, when you that also goes into that old saying where your friends are who you are, something like that. So of course, if you're then in a constant environment of wickedness, of course it's going to try and have a certain effect upon you, man. That's why Yahweh Shem Yahshai has to skeep you up out of that wickedness, out of that zone of wickedness, man. But it can have an actual strong influence upon you. It says, lest you get beguiled by it, which means affected by it, corrupted by it. It says in verse 11, it says, yea, speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness of the world should, obviously of the world, that's just what I added. Because the wickedness is really from Esau's kingdom. And Esau's kingdom, his world right now, is influencing everything else, man. He's feeling that vibration, that energy of wickedness. So yeah, of the world, that's really where the wickedness is from. Now read it again, it says, yea, speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding and deceit beguile his mind, his soul. Which again, mind and soul is within the mind. So that's pretty much the meaning. But it says, should alter his understanding or deceit beguile his soul. So again, that goes into corruption. If the person isn't removed from that wicked zone, then he'll be corrupted, man. It's like, let's think of it this way. If you have a droplet of clean water, and of course you put dirt around it, if that dirt gets too close to the droplet, that droplet is then going to be infected. That's the same way the wickedness can also affect the righteous with the service of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And it says here in verse 12, that's why it says in verse 11, Salakia, it says, yea, speedily. So of course that salvation is going to be quick. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and Tazah will be worthy of it. Alright. So this is verse 12. It says here, for the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest, and the wandering and concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind. Again, that's another word right there, man. Concupiscence. You know? Sometimes it's not all words that I know in it, so let me get that as well. It says, for the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest, and the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind. And of course, concupiscence referring to, you know, lust and sexual desire, and of course that can affect a simple mind. You know, that's prone to these evil, this wickedness, these wicked desires, I guess. Now, let's see. But yeah, man, that's really the point is that the wickedness can affect the righteous, man. They're staying too long in that type of zone because it's not healthy, it's not good. So let me get Isaiah as well. And because of that as well, referring back to the topic again, you are by His will. So pray for strength. The thing is, it says here in Isaiah chapter 42 verse 1, behold my servant, whom I uphold, mine elect in whom my soul delighteth. I have put my spirit upon him, and he shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles. And obviously the key part that I want to get is, it says, mine elect in whom, it says, behold my servant whom I uphold. So of course that goes into the will again, man. It's the rock, which means through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, that's how we're going to be upheld through Jacob's trouble and through our daily tribulations as well, daily afflictions, and also through our ability to also come out here and preach, man, and teach. It's all by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua's will. That's why it says, behold my servant whom I uphold. So it's through Yahweh Yahushua, that's how we get the power to actually do this thing. That's how we get the power. You know? And it says here, verse 2, he shall not cry, nor lift up, nor cause his voice to be heard in the street. So of course, the thing is, he won't cause us to also feel a lot of pain as well, man. To the point where we're actually going to be begging out here. You know, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua be as a strong tower to us. That's what we need. We need a strength out here. Alright. Now I'll skip to verse 4. It's really just focusing on the will. You know, I'll read verse 3. It says, a bruised reed, so this is Isaiah 42 verse 3. A bruised reed shall not break, shall he not break, and the smoking flux shall he not quench. He shall bring forth judgment unto truth. And of course a reed as well, if you look up the definition or the meaning of a reed, that's really a reference to a broken man, or like an injured or weak man. It can also refer to a plant as well. You know? But obviously if it is a plant, it's probably referring to a person too. And also, if you look into smoking flax, that's referring to like some type of chemistry where you do some soldering. But the thing is, you combine a substance with some solid in order to reduce its melting point. But the point is, it's all about the smoking flux shall he not quench. So of course, you know, if one is weak, don't mean that you should just take advantage of him just because, you know, he's being judged. And also, if one is a smoking flask, which means if his wickedness is made known, it says he shall bring forth judgment unto truth. So of course the thing is, it should be the righteous amount of judgment that should be placed upon the person. But again, it's a lot here. If I am going off, you know, in terms of the breakdown, I probably have to ask you know, one of the elders for Isaiah 42 verse 3, the proper breakdown. But, you know, it's not of my private interpretation, is it? So obviously I've got to ask the elders, innit? But yeah, it's a lot here if I didn't get it right. Yeah, let me read verse 4. It says, Isaiah 42 verse 4, ye shall not fail nor be discouraged till ye have set judgment in the earth, and the owl shall wait for his Lord. So of course it's all about the point, again, the intelligence, the fact that they're not going to fail or be discouraged. Which means they're not going to lose motivation, and they're going to keep enduring, keep doing the works, keep that persistence until the job's done. And that's really the message. And of course when it says he shall, that's pretty much Yahweh ordaining. So of course wherever he's ordained, that's what's going to happen. Wherever it's said within the scriptures, that's what's going to happen. And of course Yahweh Shem Yahshai will be in that spirit constantly. And of course we know that slothful, lazy nature may take hold of us every now and then. And that's really a demon as well, you know. Yeah, man. You shall bring forth judgment unto truth. So of course, that's really referring to righteous judgment right there, man. Whether the person may be a weak person, or a person that's really deserving, or you know, up there in wickedness, they're going to get their righteous part of judgment, whatever they may deserve. And that's all according to Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Of course, Yahweh ultimate. But anyways, let my close us. What we can do it now. Yeah, might as well. Yeah, Yahweh Shem Yahshai to Zoyak, you know, sacrifice. As the topic goes today, you are by His will. Thing. So pray for strength. You know, we're going to need that strength in the time to come. We're going to need that strength. Says in Psalms 115, verse 9, says, O Israel, trust thou in the Lord Yahweh, for Hashem Yahshai, He is their help and their shield. Which of course meaning we're going to get our help and obviously our protection, our support from Yahweh Hashem Yahshua. Which of course these nations don't know. You know, it's not as if I think Yahweh's really focusing on it. Going into the fact that, you know, they're regarded as spittle and also as a droplet that cometh from a bucket. I think that's 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 56. But anyways, that's really the lesson for today. You know, it says you are by his will, and of course it says pray for strength as the topic goes today. But you know, I'm going to close up now. Allah Shajah Yahweh, Ba'asham, Adon Zakwan Yahweh Shah Mashiach, Ba'ashir Raham Kodash, and double honors to the great Muslim apostles. Allah meaning all praises to the Most High Yahweh. And of course, Allah Shajah meaning all power almighty. And the thing is, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I think Adon Zakwan meaning ancient lords, which is a title for Yahweh Shah. And of course, you know, Allah meaning all praises to the Most High. And of course, Barak Yahweh Shah, in the name of Yahweh Shah, which is what Ba Hashem means. Ba means in, Ha means the, and Shah means name. Yeah, that's the topic for today. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Tazar, your edifiers.